Hey friends, this is Wayne over at the Ram Man. There's some helpful information I guarantee you will save you some time, money, and some grief. Right now I want to talk about old Imperial boosters. So, basically 62 and up Imperial, that's when they did the major redesign. The Imperial is the flagship. As far as brakes concerned, they always had the best of everything. Of course, it's built on a D200 chassis. The bearings and spindle sizes and all that match a D200. But let's talk about the power boosters. So, in 1962, Mopar and Bendix collaborated and came out with the Tandem Bendix booster. Here's a couple of examples. It was the most powerful at the time, and once it was used up on the Imperial through 65, 66, it got used on the B-body disc brake cars, and then the C-bodies, and yada yada. So, it is a maximum assist booster. It's called a tandem because there's actually two diaphragms and two mechanisms in that case. And it's to apply maximum assist. And it was originally designed to push a master cylinder with a great big old huge 1 and 1/8" bore. That drum brake master cylinder, they upgraded all the brakes on that Imperial because that was becoming a beast, well over 6,000 pounds, and they wanted a big old booster. And of course that's why it was used later on for the Hemi and yada yada yada. But, so, a lot of times these parts are getting rare and you can't find them and you can't rebuild them anymore, yada yada yada. I still have a few parts and still do a few of these. The only thing that is not replaceable that I don't even have is the hubs. If you've broken the hub on one of these, you are in trouble. So, anyway, I designed and brought to market in 2013 the second generation booster, which I had done. We were able to use, if you'll notice, some people used to call it the trapezoid booster, some people used to call it a bullet nose booster. I always liked the bullet nose, but if you'll notice, it is extremely similar to an original. It's extremely similar. The only difference is it uses a slightly bigger hub. We borrowed some European guts, some modern guts, real smooth. It has a slightly bigger hub because it moves more air than even the original one. The back of the rear hub, this is where boosters breathe from, in and out. Yes, air comes in and out of that thing. That's why they got a little filter on there. And that's why a lot of people didn't know that. That's why, you know, like when you look at the Hemi picture, filter goes on the back of the booster. Looky there, they even call it filter. That's from 66. So, to move more air. So the only problem that runs up with is your firewall plate. Your original firewall plate has a smaller hole to fit around that hub and that booster. And so all you have to do is take a carbide cutter or something and just open up this hole just a little bit. Now, we're only talking about 1/8 of an inch. We're not talking about like a 1/2 inch or whatever. So we're only talking about just a whittle bitty bit. It won't fit over that hub. So that's the only modification you got to do. So what we do is we install the appropriate rod for that gear. And of course, a lot of people don't know it, but the size and length and shape of the rod determines the application. And they're all marked. 8BD, 9C. IM1. Like when you go to your book and we go to Imperial, see, there's our Imperial, there's our 62. Here's that big old Tandem Bendix booster, and then of course they give us pedal rod code. And so we go down here and we look under Imperial, and what do we have right there? So 62 used to CH1, 63 used to CH1, 64 to 66 used to IM1, 69, 7 and 68 used a 7 CD and a 9 CD. Anyway, you get the point. Yes, the bolt pattern, mounting pattern, and the length and size of the rod is what determines application on a booster. They didn't make a different case for every single car. So, mounting bolts, rear can, and the size and the shape and the length determines the application. And it's pretty specific. If the damn rods, you gotta remember, your rod hooks on up there close to your pivot. If this is just a half an inch longer or whatever, makes your pedal, makes your foot pad on your pedal either go real close to the floor or up in your chest or whatever. So the length is real important. But anyway, I wanted to finish with, so if you've got an Imperial or any other old classic Mopar and you need some booster help, we've got some brand new units. This one's going to a client. This is going on, this is an IM1, and it's going on a 64 to 66 Imperial. It's, we got to ship it out next week. It's Friday, June the 13th, 2025. Yep. Israel bombed Iran last night. Going to stop their nuclear project. I've been wondering if we was going to bomb Iran for 46 years. I remember all our hostages in '79 with Carter and Reagan. God bless you. God bless America. And happy disabled vets. And happy for our president. Bye.